How's it going, everyone? Welcome to week 12 of my NFL predictions. Last week I went an abysmal 7-8, putting my current record at 111, 48, and 1. And the teams on the bye week are the Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphins, Washington Commanders, and Los Angeles Chargers. And the curse wheel team this week is the Carolina Panthers. The curse wheel kind of got their ass kicked last week, but we'll see how they do this week against the Panthers. And starting off tonight's game, we got the Bills taking on the Texans. I have the Bills winning this one 23-17. The Bills, it was close with the Bucs for a minute, but then Josh Allen was Josh Allen. Texans are able to squeak one out against the lowly Tennessee Titans. And to be honest, I could see this game going either way, but I'm going to go with the team that's been playing better recently in the Buffalo Bills and the team that has the better offense, the better quarterback. The only thing the Texans really have on them is the defense, but, in an offensive-driven league, I'm going with the Bills to win this game. All right, next up, we have the Jets taking on the Ravens. I got the Ravens winning 31-13. And last week, the Jets lost on Thursday Night Football to the Patriots, and the Ravens last week were able to escape against the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, I really don't see this game being that competitive. I think the Ravens are they're a good team with a not great record since Lamar got injured, but now that he's back, they've been rolling. The Jets are actually starting Tyrod Taylor for this game, so we'll see how they do, but I really don't think they stand a chance against the Baltimore Ravens. All right, next up we have the Steelers taking on the Bears. I have the Steelers winning 20-17. Last week, the Steelers had a great defensive performance against the Bengals, and the Bears were able to escape against the Vikings. And the reason that I think the Steelers are going to win this game, because I will acknowledge that Aaron Rodgers' status on him playing or not is up in the air since he suffered, I think it was a wrist injury or something in the Bengals game last week. And he might play, he might not play. But the thing is, I still think the Steelers are going to win because I will acknowledge the Bears are having a great season, but they haven't really beaten anyone that's that good. And everyone likes to get their jokes in about the Steelers being the Steelers, but, they are a formidable opponent, and I think they will give the Bears some trouble. And even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, which honestly I think he will because a lot of people give him shit, but he is a warrior. He will play through injury. He's done it before, and I think he will try to do it again against the Chicago Bears and will his team to victory. All right, next up we have the Patriots taking on the Bengals. I got the Patriots crushing the Bengals 41-17. Patriots beat the Jets on Thursday Night Football last week, and the Bengals, as I just mentioned, they got their ass kicked by the Steelers. And this game, I really don't see it being close at all. The Bengals defense is horrible. And to tell you the truth, they didn't do terrible last week, but the one time their defense does somewhat okay, their offense lets them down. And their offense certainly isn't going to be helped this week, considering that Jamar Chase is going to be serving a 1-game suspension for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. So we'll see how the Bengals offense looks. It'll have to require a huge T. Higgins game, so we'll see how they do, but I really don't think they stand a chance against Drake May and the Patriots. So give me the Patriots. All right, next up we have the Giants taking on the Lions. I have the Lions winning 38-20. Last week, the Giants, they made it close against the Packers, but they couldn't seal it in, and the Lions' offense really struggled against the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. And, Giants, they could make this close, but I really don't think they're going to. And it's kind of a shame because, to tell you the truth, I think they're a better team than 2-9, even with all the injuries. I'm not sure if he's playing, but I think Jackson Dart is a phenomenal quarterback. And I'm not sure if he's going to be playing or whether or not it's Jameis Winston or Jackson Dart, but either way, I really don't think it matters. I think the Lions are going to try and get revenge for what happened to them last week against the Eagles and take their frustrations out on the New York Giants. So if you're a Giants fan, I don't know how you do it, but the Lions, I think they're going to unleash their wrath onto you. Poor souls. All right, next up we have NFC North football between the Vikings and Packers. Give me the Packers 26-16. Vikings could not beat the Bears. They looked terrible for like 90% of the game. And the Packers, as I just mentioned, were able to squeak out a win against the Giants. So, definitely not the cleanest win by the Packers and definitely an ugly loss for the Vikings. So, the Packers, the reason I'm picking them, they're at home. They've been more consistent. The Vikings offense has looked really, really concerning, and we'll see how they play, but I really don't see them playing well against a team led by Micah Parsons on defense, and give me the Packers, and we'll see how this game goes, because really anything could happen, but I'm not picking against the Packers. All right, next we got the Colts taking on the Chiefs. Give me the Colts to win this one, 24-21. The Chiefs lost to the Broncos last week in a defensive slugfest, and the Colts had a bye week last week. And the Chiefs, believe it or not, are actually favored to win this game, which I think is insane considering they've lost 2 in a row, and the Colts are coming off their bye week. And that's obviously, I'm picking the Colts. The Colts, they've looked really good this year. They were surpassing everyone's expectations. 8-2 with Daniel Jones as your quarterback would have been an unreasonable statement just 10 weeks ago, or actually 11 weeks ago. And the Chiefs being 5-5 also seemed a little unrealistic. But I'm going with the Colts. I think they're going to go into Arrowhead, take care of business, because the Chiefs' offense is definitely struggling. And I think the Colts are going to take advantage and come out with a dub. All right, next up we have the Seahawks and the Titans. I have the Seahawks winning 27-6. Last week, the Seahawks, they lost to the Rams despite having 4 turnovers. They did make it close, so good on them for that. And the Titans, they also made it close. So I guess that's a little, good. A moral loss, I guess, or moral victory, I don't know. Point is, the Seahawks are a Super Bowl contender still, and the Titans are literally one of the worst teams in the league, so not gonna talk about this for too long. I think Seahawks are gonna crush the Titans, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, next up we have the Jags taking on the Cardinals. I have the Jags winning this one 28-27. The Jags beat the absolute shit out of the Chargers last week, and the Cardinals could not keep up with the 49ers. And one thing I'll say about the Cardinals, their record sucks, but I will say they are genuinely a very entertaining 3-7 team. I feel like other than last week, and I guess the time they played the Seahawks, they make every game they play really, really close, at least most of the games they play. And I think this game's going to be similar, hence why I only have the Jags winning by a point. I still think the Jags are better, or at least they have a better defense. Their offense is definitely not the greatest, but I think their defense more than makes up for it. And the Cardinals, they just don't know how to win. They know how to be competitive, I'll give them that, but at the end of the day, I don't trust the Cardinals to win games. I trust them to be competitive, but I just don't trust them to win games. So for that reason, I have to pick the Jags to win this game, but I think it will be very entertaining, so we'll see. All right, we got game of the year between the Browns and the Raiders. I have the Browns winning 13-10. Last week, the Browns couldn't pull one out against the Ravens despite their defense playing great. And the Raiders, they got their ass handed to them by the Raiders on Monday Night Football. And you can hear my enthusiasm about a game like this. I think this game's going to be unbelievable. So we'll just leave it at that, and I think the Browns are going to win. All right, on to an actual good game. We have the Eagles taking on the Cowboys. I have the Eagles winning 27-23. The Eagles won a defensive slugfest on Sunday Night Football against the Lions, and the Cowboys were able to beat the Raiders, as I just mentioned. And I'm going to be completely honest. I could see this game going either way. The Eagles' defense has been unbelievable so far for the past few weeks since they acquired Jalen Phillips. But their offense has looked a little bit concerning. But they're winning games, so no one's really talking about that, as they shouldn't. If you're winning games, you're winning games. The Cowboys, their offense has been really good, and their defense is really bad. So you've got the Eagles' biggest strength right now going against the Cowboys' biggest strength. And you also got the Eagles' biggest level of concern right now in their offense going against the Cowboys' weak link, their defense. Although I will say, though, acquiring Quinnen Williams might be a good move by the Cowboys to improve their defense. I still think they're going to lose, but honestly, I think they're going to lose in a competitive game, and we'll see, but I'm going with the Eagles. And we got another game of the year candidate between the Falcons and the Saints. I have the Falcons winning 26-23. The Falcons lost last week to the Carolina Panthers in a high-scoring game, and the Saints had a bye week last week. And I will say this game could honestly be pretty good. I know the Falcons aren't going to have Michael the year because he got injured in that game last week against the Panthers, I believe. Or yeah, it was that game. And it's going to be Kirk Cousins leading the ship. We'll see how he does against the Saints. Saints are still rolling with Tyler Shuck. And I don't think the Saints are very good, but I also think the Falcons have some of the worst coaching I've ever seen. So I think they're going to make this game a lot closer than it should be. Hence why I think the score will be close. And when you got a team that's talented with god-awful head coaching and playing against a team that's just flat out terrible with somewhat decent coaching, you got yourselves a good game, and I'm going to go with the Falcons. All right, our Sunday Night Football game, we got the Bucs taking on the Rams. I have the Rams winning this one 31-21. Last week, the Bucs just couldn't keep up with the Bills as Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns on them, and the Rams were able to squeak one out against the Seahawks, forcing 4 turnovers, which was a big reason why they won. So good for them. And it definitely wasn't the cleanest victory for the Rams, but a win's a win, and it was sure a big win that they did get. So good for them. And honestly, the Rams, I just trust them more. I trust Sean McVay more than Todd Bowles. I trust Matthew Stafford more than Baker Mayfield. Not that I think Baker Mayfield's a bad quarterback, but Matthew Stafford's just been on another level this year. Also, the Bucs are just really banged up on offense right now. And the Rams have one of the best offenses in the NFL. The point is, the Bucs are just playing behind the 8 ball here. I feel like the Rams are just a flat-out better team with better coaching. They're at home. The Rams should win this game. And, I mean, it could be close, but I really don't think it will be. I got the Rams. All right, and ending the week, we got the Panthers taking on the 49ers. I have the 49ers winning 30-24. And last week, the Panthers were able to beat the Falcons 30-27, and the 49ers were able to beat the Cardinals 41-22. And this is going to be a really intriguing game because the Panthers, they're actually playing all right. I mean, they're not great, but they're definitely not nearly as bad as I thought they would be. So good for them. Bryce Young had by far the best game of his career last week against the Falcons. And the 49ers, they had a really good game themselves, and a big reason for that was Christian McCaffrey, and the Panthers know a thing or two about him. You got yourselves a revenge game, so we'll see how CMC does against the Panthers, and anyway, but another thing the Panthers don't have going for them, that little curse wheel that I like to talk about all the time, it cursed them. I don't know what the Panthers did to deserve that, but the wrath of the curse wheel has not blessed the Panthers, or they've cursed the Panthers, rather. So, for those reasons, I got the 49ers winning this game. And there you have it. We got all the games right here. Got 14 games this week, and we'll see how these 14 games age. We'll see how right or wrong I am on Tuesday whenever we do power rankings, or Wednesday, because we're actually going to be doing our next weekly predictions on Wednesday, since there's going to be so many games on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. So yeah, just be prepared for that if you're still watching this video. And by the way, if you're still watching this video, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.